immediately he got to university, he morphed into something else in short time, in record time, because they act like a hive. It actually captures the psyche when you hear them talk. Even a well-meaning ally who always know that at the end of the day, you are even praised more than usual when you used to support these women, and then all of a sudden you turn it upside down. You just see how patriarchy sort of gives these people more coin or more gold or more applause, that yes, you have finally seen the light. Don't you know these feminists, why would they even have anything to do with them? What the greatest fear of any solidarity at all is anarchy, and this is what feminists represent to them. It's not like they do not understand what feminism is. It's not like they do not understand what proper socialization or taking care of. They understand. But when your whole life is when your whole life is the sum total of a privilege in a patriarchal setting, anything that wants equality or anything immediately seems like oppression. That is how it is. If you used to stay in a house with like 247, one day your parents will say like, oh, we cannot get this to this level. You will feel uncomfortable if you don't get that same way anymore, even though you know that you understand that this is what is happening, but you're going to feel uncomfortable. For men, it's like, if we find a word that is gender neutral or a place that is fair to women, who is going to who is going to do all the domestic servitude?
Who's going to be
How is
cooking?
it
Who's
going
going
to
to be,
who is
yeah.
going to do this? When you want a true gender, like, they complain about institution to show you how bad it is. Patriarchy ruins men too. It strips them off of even being human. And then they make this institution that they resent, especially in marital dynamic. You see a man the other day, I saw a tweet of a man saying, I don't want to date straight girls anymore. Talking to them is like you're auctioning for slave and whatnot. And I
That
said,
one,
who
God will
set this
punish him in the
system up?
name of Jesus
Who set
or
the
whoever
system
he's
up?
worshiping. I saw
Yeah, but
that
like
very annoying
what
tweet.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is like this thing also affect them. You see things like, I have to work. I'm a man. I have to work. I have to always think about it. Yes, you do. Because strategically speaking, every institution has already favored the patriarchy. A woman can go to that same job place and they reject her simply for being a woman. Or even if she goes there, she has to battle sexual assault for some, or even reductiveness from fellow peers. You don't even see them. You see, statistically, I think Nigeria has one of the highest numbers of female entrepreneur in micro businesses or whatnot. Now, where there's a very disconcerting disjointed statistic is that women are very normal in that microeconomic side. When they get into corporate quarters, that is when you start seeing differences in payment and all this glass ceiling syndrome. Because now this is a proper institution with different kind of system that automatically favors the men. One thing that women should learn, I think, one thing I'm growing older, is that be an agent of chaos. Now, this chaos must not even be. You don't necessarily have to fight. You just have to stand your ground. I think so many women negotiate their agency, and the world is so used to women negotiating who they are, negotiating compromise, negotiating this. Men cannot do it. They will never do it. When I went to Owerri earlier this year, we're having a conversation, right? And I threw this thing out like a joke. I said, if your wife cheats on you, are you going to take her back? Everybody, all the men immediately said, God forbid. They understood the intricacies of cheating. They understand the moral failing of that, right? When I asked the same thing towards women, the men were jumping in hurdles to rationalize it. The women were also joining the men in hurdles to rationalize the same thought process. And now this is the question that followed up immediately. And I'm just like, this should be completely honest. If you cheat on your wife and she takes you back, will you see her the same way? A boy honestly said, I'm not going to respect her really again because she has already accepted this. And women were saying, it's better to cry in a keke, it's better to cry in a Lamborghini than a keke. You are negotiating. You have spent your whole life without proper agency. That whenever you see any semblance of negotiation, you take it up as if that is what you deserve. That the sum total of your life should be a negotiation, which is not true. Go to a mechanic, go to anything, the lowest of the low of a guy. In fact, a little boy can tell you, even if you're in the east, you see how they send the younger sister or the older sister will go to the kitchen. You the one that's you're younger. If there's a younger sister before the boy, they're sending that younger one before the boy will go there. They're already pushing you where you're supposed to be. And you're sitting there. You have to disrupt everything. Disrupt it, like it can be little things. I've made tweets on it before. When they asked what is your micro act of feminism, I said that in my village, whenever there's a family gathering, I do not cook, I do not go to the kitchen even. And this forced my family to take boys now into the kitchen, because I'm not going to do it. And when I don't want to do it, my sister is saying she's not doing it, I'm not doing it. Another person is saying I'm not doing it because Mama is not doing it. That was what just forced all the men to get into the kitchen. And in that tweet, I noticed women were more of the people saying, "Can't you pity your mom? Can't you do this? Can't you do this?" There's always a can't. There's always a caveat when it comes to women and compromise. You want to keep compromising. You want to keep negotiating. You want to keep. You want to keep breaking your back. My mom is okay. I kept saying it like, why are you projecting? I now put a video of my brother talking. My younger brother had to answer. I was like, I asked, what is the ripple effect of this little decision I took? They go to the kitchen now. They are the one that cook more time than I do. It doesn't even have to be big. It doesn't mean I don't cook at home. It's just a family gathering thing. And it made it even nicer. The men will be talking to their children in the kitchen, the male child. It's nothing. When you stop negotiating, things must happen. It's either a yes or a no. And be okay with no sometimes. I'm so serious. Be okay with
Yeah,
no.
this is
Charge it
very
to the
important.
girl.
That no, it doesn't always
That
have to be
no.
yes in the very
You
beginning. Yeah.
have to you have to aggressively remember you're a human being first. Above all, you are human too. You are worthy of the same agency. And even by the virtue of our patriarchal socialization, we're always going to have women that are class traitors. How do you talk to these people? How do you even interact with them? How do you, when you question their psyche, you realize that they do not even acknowledge their own humanness? Nothing whatsoever. I take it as my responsibility as a feminist or as an Igbo woman to remind the younger ones around, because seeing things, everything radicalized, everything is a tool of socialization. The church, in fact, religion, it tells you you're lower than a man. You go to communality or community, they tell you you're lesser than the man. Now you go to the nuclear dynamic. Your father is saying he's the head, he's the crown. The mom is screaming that she's the spine, she's the neck. And when you speak to her in this manner, curiosity is demonized. Keep asking questions, challenge these people. You don't even have to mock them. Ask them questions. Why do you think that you are not enough? I always ask women this thing, and then they sit down back and they look at me, because there's a violence in taking away agency that has been normalized. Let them know that it's not normal. They know it is not normal, but make sure you keep hammering on it, because all these younger children, they are going to see it and they think it's normal. Be the agents of chaos in that dynamic in any system you are. Actually, I know it takes a certain privilege for so many of these things, but wherever you are, exploit that privilege. Whatever privilege you have, exploit it. Because for we think it's okay, but if you start checking statistically, boys are now more violent than they have been like 10 years ago. There are
In a very
9-year-old
in a more
boys.
violent way.
Yeah,
In a more violent it's very alarming to me. I'm very scared.
9-year-old boys are raping and making so they are forcing inflicting so much violence on younger girls. Make
And do
them
you know the response? Do you
uncomfortable.
know the response? One of the responses, so sorry to cut in, that I've received so far, so in that aspect, is it's because of the rise of feminism. And
Which is a lie.
which is a very bloody
A
lie, because
very big
feminism
lie.
is a response to these things. So
The
I don't understand
violence
how
and subjugation of women. I keep
the
telling them.
feminism is just a response. I don't understand how now we are saying that this thing is a response to feminism. What are we saying? Right?
I
What are we
tell you that
saying?
the reason that it is
Salako,
happening.
and may God punish him with all his useless fucking stupid degrees.
I don't even see all these people, by the way, thank God. But what I used to say is, look, I have four brothers of different ideologies, and I remember one of the more liberal one. I told him the truth that one of the reasons why boys are becoming more violent, one of the reasons why boys are latching, they have parasocial relationship with violent men that think they're alpha male and whatsoever is the worst thing about patriarchy is they do not even see these men as human being. They also abandon the male child, right? All they know is violence too. This is all they know. In fact, the only time they see this Andrew Tate them and the rest is other people are hailing them because they are violent. You too, you want to be a monk. That is the only normal thing. They don't have mentors. Your fathers are not there for you. They are not sitting down. Why people are crying mothers and this and this? Your father have neglected you all your life. Your uncles, all they know how to do is gossip about women, insult women, say that they are better than this or whatever, whatever. You come online, all the men are making fun of it, right? They are using misogynistic. It's just so casual. That's the worst thing about misogyny. It's very casual. And now these boys, they think it's normal. They think it's okay. I'm okay. I've grown into it. And by the virtue of globalization and then our internet, the world is now a global village. And everybody gets to this thing faster than usual. It's everywhere. If you don't, this is the ripple effect of not training the boy child. You don't see them as anything other than you have to you have to immediately start becoming violent, and then you have to exploit capitalism to be the provider or whatever you want to be, whatever balderdash that is. So I tell people that feminists are also, especially radical feminists, they are also very passionate about hijacking the psyche of these young boys too and the young girls, because look at the effects that we are suffering. Why does a 9-year-old boy know how to rape another person, a girl?
Know
How
enough to. Oh my
she
goodness.
shaved the hair, they shaved her hair, they shaved her hair after doing inflicting such violence on someone a boy will hold. There's a 10-year-old that used a knife to stab a girl. You cannot take rejection. You are born
At
into this world
10,
and
at that very
you
10,
did
that
not.
like, okay,
This is
where did
it.
you learn that from? Obviously from a man. So like
Yes,
at
now
the end, oh my god.
it is a society that tells you that immediately you have a penis, you cannot be negotiated with. The world is your
Mm,
oyster, and the women should dance at your feet. This is why I say, like, if there's one thing women must learn from, especially Igbo men and their audacity, do not negotiate who you are. Never ever. If you have nobody at all, I think with Igbo women especially, um, Chimamanda is a very good example to a certain degree. When I was growing up, when I said I was a feminist with Chimamanda, they used to call her Ndi Sene Macy. They used to call
different
her all
ability. Yeah, that
manner,
was a
all
very
sort of name. There's
yes
no
on
manner of
Facebook
name.
that
If you
year.
say Chimamanda, if you say
Mm-hmm.
Chimamanda, 10 Igbo men will wake up from their sleep to curse her. And now they go about screaming Odeluwa, chief,
Mm,
chief, chief. Not
yes.
just her. We have had numerous women, right? From time immemorial. I'm trying to remember this one woman that I think she's the only woman that has joined that male only society. All of them, what they share in history, what all of them share is that they refuse to negotiate. Don't even
And
try to negotiate.
Chimamanda
Don't
actually
compromise.
said it. Mhm. There's a video I watched of her where she said something like, in I think she said she went to a meeting and then they asked her to kneel or something. I said, do the men kneel? Do they kneel? They said no. Okay, if a man does not kneel, I will not kneel. It's as simple as that. These are like practical examples, the things that we can be talking about, like as we dey talk and we dey do instant. If I go to meeting and anything is that I come and cook, is the boy going to the kitchen too? No. Okay, I'm not doing it. Very simple. Like this should be like what can we trying to say? Non-negotiables. When we go to our school outreaches and we reach to these girls, I tell them when I told the girls that I met is you can just do anything. And one of the most important things, one of the most important words you have to employ as a young Igbo girl is mbam. No, mommy mba, daddy mba, auntie mba, mba. Like I can't tell you. That's why one of that video that we responded to earlier yesterday really made me very upset, because one of the most important things that have been very helpful to me as a young Igbo girl who grew up in rural Imo states is now one very stubborn. That girl is stubborn. She's very, very stubborn. It saved my life. It practically made all of the guys that came to marry me at 12, 13, 14. Onye, who do you want to marry? That one? Ah, she's very stubborn. No. It saved my life. That's why I'm here in Lagos now, living alone as a single woman. I would have been married off at 15, probably pregnant with my fourth child right now. My entire life ahead of me wasted. A simple, she's very stubborn. It saves you. So that's one of the reasons we are having these conversations. The very, very need for little girls around us. Tell little girls. That's why when they tell me this girl, like when I meet a girl, right, anywhere I go, and they say when they tell me that girl is very stubborn, I'm always so pleased. Like when they want to say we need to talk to this girl, she's always very, very. He's where boys are that she'll go. Da, 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 da. That's the girl I want to meet. That's the girl I want to talk to. That's the girl I want to say, Nay, you see, K, well done. In so many ways, I want to pull these girls close to me. And I want to charge all of us here, boy or girl or woman, or if you meet a young girl that is being I don't want to say persecuted, but that's not the word. That is
Vilified.
being picked on, especially because of how bold she is, because of how smart she is, because of how outspoken she is. Bring her closer. Make sure that you're always looking out for her, because girls like that, there's this thing, this phrase, girls will be forged in the fire of, I can't remember, but like they will put you through so much. We saw that girl that they said they refused to pay her school fees because she was a feminist or something. They will put you through so much that you will regret your life. You will so regret. And many feminists to be have been essentially bullied, beat, that into submission, into being controlled. This is like very, very violent. It's very, very political, because if you are fighting for your life, if you are fighting for the basic, so that you don't beat you, so that they don't call you stubborn, you won't have time to be doing feminism. So so sorry, Cam, I caught you in. I don't know, do you want to continue, or do you want to, let
No,
next
I
person
think
speak?
my roundup about this is, thank you so much for actually explaining that. My other roundup is, you should be comfortable in not being liked. So many women want to be liked. You want to get the crumbs of patriarchy. You want to get the crumbs of applause from men who see you as nothing. It's not worth it at the end of the day. Look, you are going to be, look, you might be a class traitor to other people, but above all, why are you betraying yourself? Why are you betraying the sense of humanness? I keep telling so many women that whenever they talk about feminism, I said, do you people even know the definition of feminism? It simply means that equal opportunity for you, for the women that was before, for the girls that are coming, for the women that are now, and the children and everybody. There are so many. Oh my god, feminism is so political and so necessary. The whole foundation is literally just, let us save the future, let us make the world a better place, a fair place. Let the girl child see the world, a world where she's not reduced or relegated into a property. Why are you hell bent then on saying you want to be a property? Why are you hell bent on reducing the work of other women that are fighting for the future girls to come and the ones that are now to be liked? There's this desperation to be liked by women that irk me. It's okay to not be liked. It's okay. Just as long as you are being principled, as long as you are fighting the good fight, as long as you are fair with your politics and your ideology, how you also impact it socially to women and the children around you, because children are so important in the feminist work. I think people forget that they are very important. How do you interact with them? How do you interact with other women? What does your action say of you? If the men don't want to interact, that's okay. That's okay. Your leader, oh my god, they killed Saruwiwa because he was even debating with nobody. Look, the person oppressing you will never ever want to laugh with you if you fight against the system. So just get used to it. There's this, you're pretzeling for someone to applaud you for saying that you are less. Is it worth it? Nne, is it really worth it? It's good. It's okay to just not be liked sometimes. Okay.
Yes,
Thank
yes.
you. So I think that's what I have for now. I think people
Okay.
also have other things to add.